Alright, so it's my turn?
Yeah.
Alright, well, considering I've got Fuzz right in front of me here, I'm just gonna put the hammer down, so to speak. And that did not go so well.
As you raise your arm to swing your hammer, he bashes your arm and your swing goes wide. Darvin.
I shout, "We need to end this now." And I run up from here to get a clearer shot. And I take aim with my short bow. Still shooting wide.
Yeah, you shoot a little bit wide behind him and it sticks in the wall to the far side.
And then run back. Cover me.
The halfling charges forward to Bellinor and swings a long scimitar. And he misses.
You'll have to do better than that.
Orin, back to the top.
I'm gonna run up 20 feet and say to the halfling, "Get the point."
Nice. That's gonna
22
hit.
against his AC, so that's 13 damage total with the sneak attack.
Very good.
And I'll use the last 5 feet of my movement to fall back a bit.
You did 13, you said?
Yes.
Okay, you drop him.
Nicely done.
With a crossbow bolt, he takes it between the eyes and falls back dead.
A fine hit if I ever saw one, though.
Agreed.
Nice shot, Shorty.
And then I begin to load a new bolt into my crossbow.
The Dragonborn, seeing his comrade fall, snarls, turns towards Tarnak, and swings his scimitar. 14 versus AC.
That's a hit.
He does 5 damage.
Getting a little hurt here, guys.
Tarnak begins to bleed from the chest, where his open wound is now cut through his scales. And Fuzz the Thug, he takes another whack at Easeburn.
So, Fuzz is attacking Easeburn.
Yeah, you guys are kind of going at it. He's taking you as his personal target at this point.
That's cool.
He makes 2 swings with his mace.
Uh-oh.
He hits with both, and one of them...
Seriously?
Yes. He's got advantage because his ally is next to him.
You gain advantage on...
Some enemies do.
Some enemies do. It's called pack tactics. And he does 9 damage.
Oh boy.
Total?
Oh,
Damn.
he stands. But barely.
Oh boy.
Easeburn, just keep standing.
I got this.
Bellinor.
Get back, Master Dwarf. I'll take care of him. Then I swing at him again. 18. It's a hit, right?
Yes, that's a hit.
So I just jab him right in the gut. 4. And then I knee him.
That's going to also hit. For another 4?
Yep.
Okay, you dropped him. He's dead.
It's like, okay, so he's gone.
Good
I will
minute.
then step over his body while giving it a little kick. Then stand and surround the lizard man.
Okay. Tarnak.
Alright. I snarl at the Dragonborn and pull out my Ame piercers, and I attack.
That's going to hit. You see that your blades enter into his neck. Blood begins to spurt out, but he's still barely standing.
As my bonus attack, I attempt to smack him on the snout.
You do, and that's going to drop him. You stick him in the neck and then hit him in the snout, and he falls back with his eyes rolled back in his head.
Well done, Dragonborn.
Piece of trash.
Congrats, guys.
No one has died.
That was too close.
That was close.
The drow says, "Well, if I'll be, they were some of the best. Impressive. You may now enter the prison." As he says this, he makes this wall kind of just slide away.
Oh, nice effect.
You guys can enter. Easeburn, give me what's your passive perception?
My passive perception is 15.
Okay, as you're passing,
Good lord.
you notice
Maybe I'll check.
I
when
have a passive perception of 17 too.
that's pretty good. You notice that there's phosphorescent
15.
moss hanging from the side of this slit away door.
All right.
As I follow everybody to enter, I want to stop and grab the bolts off of either of the guys that went down that had crossbows.
Does that phosphorescent moss, do I know anything else about it?
Can I examine it with my knowledge of nature? Does it look familiar?
Easeburn, you know
Only
that
Easeburn
Easeburn-
knows, right?
no, anyone with a I would say 13 passive perception or higher notices it. Although the reason that it sticks out to Eastburn is because it's one of his spell components.
Oh, okay.
You guys can all
Oh, right.
collect half of the ammo that you shot.
Round down, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
And then scavenging on the bolts of the dead fallen, I'd say that there's in total 10 bolts to be collected.
Ooh,
So who needs bolts?
I think only Orin, unless
Nope, I need arrows.
What about arrows for
There's no one was shooting arrows. They're all crossbow bolts.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't check for any weaponry, but I look for like food or supplies on them. If they have any of that.
I checked to see what they were carrying.
I do the same.
Sure. For the most part, they're not carrying anything. It seems as if they were being led out of the prison and didn't really expect to return. But they do have some foodstuffs in their pockets, like crumbs and breads, and nothing seemingly of value.
Okay.
I walk up, and is that torch in front of me? Like, is it dark? What can I see past the doorway now that it's
Yeah, so
open?
I'm about to reveal. So basically, you had already seen past this because when the drow let them in, those prisoners, it opened and you saw this entire cavernous place. And I'm gonna move you over to there now. Can you guys see
Oh,
the new
boy.
place?
I see
Yeah.
it.
I can see chunks of it.
Okay. As the stone slides apart and you catch your breath, some of you are bleeding pretty bad.
Before we go, I
Uh-huh.
asked the drow elf his name.
Uh huh.
If he didn't give it to us.
Yes.
What is your name, good sir? Or master elf?
He says, I am a thorn. My name is Quasart the Martyrer. I'm a strong mage, and I'm the overseer of this prison. You could call me the warden.
Very well.
Now get
Mr.
in
Warden.
there.
Then I just rush in.
So as you enter, the stones close behind you. He says, and you hear him call before they close shut. He says, "Welcome and stay a while." As you gather your surroundings, you see that there's many Chiron prisoners, and they
Is that
seem
a person crucified?
there are people in stockades. They seem very warped by captivity. There's people with twitchy eyes, and they're snarling at you as you enter in this enormous spherical dome space. The walls are far off in every direction, more than 400 feet in diameter. So if you could picture, for instance, say a minor league baseball field, that's kind of like the size of this place.
Sorry, which side of the area did we enter from?
Where the star
The
is.
star, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'll use the star in some instances to denote where you guys are. And there's some passersby that seem frightened by you. They cower away. There's desolate women and children and men of all the Kyr races, and some that you don't even recognize, scampering to and fro. It seems off the bat to be less of a prison and more of a miniature colony. You see traders set up with stands, prisoners in stockades, and most significantly, a giant pile of goods and items, foods and stuffs, piled in the center of this main chamber.
Like this area?
Yeah, right where I'm pinging right now. Around the pile are what appear to be armed prisoners protecting these wares. Some dwarf sits atop the pile. He notices you and whispers something to a white dragonborn on his left. The white dragonborn begins to climb down the pile of stuff and approach
Can I
you.
hear what he's saying by any chance?
Go ahead and make a listen check.
I do speak Draconic, so
Okay. It would just be perception.
yeah. I rolled a 15.
Because it's 200 feet away and there's a lot of people
Very far.
running
Yeah.
around, it's hard to make out what they're saying, but as you pay attention to them, it seems like the dwarf is whispering something to him and saying something about, go address these newcomers. The white dragonborn, he begins to climb down and approach you. What do you do?
I
I ask him in Draconic, where are we? What is going on?
as he approaches, I'll grab the hilt of my short sword in the event that I need to draw it quickly.
I just keep my shield up because I'm pretty battered already.
Yeah,
Everyone
also
else is
provide-
tense, so I just start tensing up as well.
I will look around, attempting to see if I can glean any further information from my surroundings. While I'm still standing there, just looking around, seeing if I can detect anything else.
sure. Go ahead and tell me what your perception is there. Just make a roll. It's so busy at this point that you don't notice anything else, and you're still gathering your wits about you after being in this new, strange place under thousands of feet of water. The white dragonborn arrives in front of you, and here, this is him.
Nice armor.
He says, "Welcome to the prison. I see you took care of those guys in there."
We do what we can.
They weren't so tough, if you ask me.
That Dragonborn was a disgrace to the race.
Who was the
Where
one
are
that
we?
said they weren't so tough? Eastburn?
Eastburn, yeah.
I look at him and I see his wounds, and then I just shrug.
Yeah, it looks like you need some healing, dwarf.
Sword sure. Who are you to this
Better
place?
Here in the underwater prison, there's a couple gangs going on.
Oh boy.
See that guy up there? He turns and points to the dwarf. That's the boss of the Blood Crows. We own this main chamber here, and we've got protection over the back chamber. There's 6 different chambers besides this main chamber, and we're all fighting for them because that's where the loot gets dropped in. The food and the things that we use to survive. He points up to the ceiling, and over the dome ceiling, you see that there's kind of like a blackened space that could be opened potentially, where stuff would kind of just be dropped down to the prisoners below. As he's saying this, he says, "Seeing as you guys did pretty well in there, and you look like you can handle yourselves, I'd suggest you join us, the Blood Crows. But there's a way of the prison, an order that we follow, and that's that you get 24 hours to decide which gang you want to join. So, for now, you're fresh meat, but tomorrow, if you don't team up, better know that we're coming after you." At this point, another humanoid saunters forward. He is an old man. He looks like this.
Oh, there he is. Yeah.
And he says, "Give them some space. Give them some space, Sorcho. Let them decide on their own." He says, "Welcome. How may I be of assistance? I've been here longer than any other person.
Who are you?
I am Old Man Vood. That's what they call me. I know the secrets of these prisons because I've been here for 12 years, 11 months, 29 days, and a few hours."
And are you here to sell us on your gang or some other scheme?
I'm one of the only ones who's not in a gang. I'm what you could call unbiased. Everyone respects my decision to stay this way because I've been here the longest. He's missing an eye, and he seems like he could turn into dust from frailty at any moment. He says, "So, you beat Fuzz and his 2 compatriots when you arrived. They were tough. The Thorn was going to let them compete in the Aquaseum if they beat you newcomers. Let me give you a piece of advice. Join a gang. There's 5 choices. The Blood Crows there, they do own the main loot drop now, but that seems to change weekly. They're constantly fighting for it. Pick quick or prepare to die quick."
Who are these other gangs?
He says, "There's a total of 5 gangs. One of them, as you've seen, are these Blood Crows. And as you look around to the main area here, you see a lot of people wearing pieces of armor, shirts, shields that have this symbol of what looks like a crow on a blood red background.
Okay.
And you notice that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different passageways out of this sphere that kind of lead down into different areas, each guarded by different adorned humanoids. Old Man Vood says, "There's the Emerald Arrows, which is run by Poiser Grey. There's the Half-Deads that Bach Frankenson runs. There's the Blood Crows. There's the Drowning Devils that Warren Rush runs. And there's the Skulking 70 that Scotch and Muffin Crow runs."
So if I look around on the walls, do I see anything that I would determine to be a coded language that would be the thieves' cant?
Yes, you do actually. And it is right here, near this entranceway. The closest one on the right, about 100 feet
Okay.
to your, or 75 feet to your right.
Perfect.
So thieves can't.
Yeah, so the thieves' cant there says on the walls, "Welcome to the Skulking 70. in so many words. You know, it doesn't really say that, but in the way that the thieves' cant goes, it's got symbols, a few scratching words, and only the people who speak the thieves' cant would understand what this says. It says, "Welcome to the Skulking 70."
Which tunnel is that over of the 6?
The one to
The
our
one
right.
directly to our right.
One directly to the right. As you guys are getting intermingled into this new prison, there's constant, I want to stress that there's constant activity. You know, there's people moving around.
So I'm gonna clutch tight to my traveling pack. I don't want to risk getting it pickpocketed.
Yeah, there's a lot of old women that are like, but there's also children, you know, playing jacks and things like that. It's basically like what you would imagine a poor area of an urban city would be like. Some of you, perhaps from Alfheimer, would not, and some of you, like perhaps Tarnak, who is an urchin living from the city when he was younger, this brings back memories.
Right. I walk over to Old Man Vood and I strike up a conversation with him.
He's leaning against this man in the stockade and just kind of like chatting with him as he sees you come over. And he says, "So, never seen a dragonborn like you before."
You'll find a lot of unexpected things about me. I ask him very bluntly, exactly how did he know that there were only 2 companions left inside of the hallway that we fought? Whenever he was talking to us, he said that we defeated the 3 enemies inside, but going in there were 4 enemies. You know, the wall was closed afterwards, so how would he know that one of them died? That's what I'm trying to find out.
Okay. He says, "I didn't know that there was another one, but I knew that Fuzz and his 2 buddies went in there. You see, they were trying to apply for the Aquaseum."
What's the Aquaseum?
You don't know about, well, I guess you wouldn't. The Aquaseum's one of the only ways out of this place.
Is it a tournament of sorts?
Not many people, not many prisoners think it's worth the chance, but if you make it, if they take you, and they pick you based on what they see inside the prison, he looks up. They're always watching us, in one way or another. And if they pick you, you have to win 3 fights. I've never seen the place, but they say it's the Aquaseum on the top of the sea, and that many thorns come to visit and watch the fights take place. If you win 3 fights in a row with your allies against 3 fights against other allied enemies, they'll let you be free. Well, free as you can be on this godforsaken planet.
Can Eastburn hear all this?
That depends if you followed Tarnak over there or not.
I mean, I assumed because we were pretty close to that guy, I thought.
Yeah,
so.
if you want to hear it, you can surely hear it.
All right.
This seems to be common knowledge. There you
I
go.
kind of wandered towards the hallway of the Skulking 70.
Yeah, you're intrigued by these thieves' cant scrawlings on the mossy, large stone walls that kind of go up, I'd say, at least 200 feet, and then kind of sphere a dome over the top, which ends in the circular drop-down zone over the top of the main heap pile.
Okay.
So Old Man Vood says, "I wouldn't recommend going the Aquaseum route. It's pretty dangerous. Very few make it out. Although, at the last fight, we never know if they do, because if they die, they die. If they're free, we never see them again."
Eastburn walks up to Old Man Vood. "Well, look, I didn't come here to make friends, but you say there's another way out of here?"
There's suspicions, there's secrets, but in order to figure out those secrets, you'll have to do some investigating, I'm sure.
If it's an investigation you've already done, how about I pay you out and cut out the middleman?
Well, let's say this. I've got a couple buddies who got lost. You find them, and then we'll take it from there.
All right, whereabouts did they get misplaced?
In one of these sewers, you see, there's a couple access points to the sewers, but I'm not sure which one they went into. All I know is that they were looking for the secret passageway to the guards' chambers.
The guards' chambers?
The guards.
The guards' chambers. Where are the guards here? Can I see any guards around here? You mentioned prisoners guarding supplies, but can I see any guards nearby?
No, there doesn't seem to be any actual guards here that are drow, because basically the only Jixians that you know of now are drow. There's no drow here that you can see.
Where are... You said guards' chambers, I asked him. Where Where are these guards? I don't see any.
The guards' chambers are hidden.
But where are the guards?
He says, they'll come
They're
at
watching us from up there.
they'll come at times when they need to take people away, and usually when they leave, we never see them again.
Where do the guards enter from?
Right there where you just came in from.
I want to inspect the wall that we just exited from, or rather entered from.
Okay.
I want to see if there's any secret hidden mechanisms that I could activate.
Yes, make a. I think that would actually be investigation.
Oh, okay, investigation. I'm having some rotten luck.
Well,
I'm
What are
al-
you doing over there, Dragonborn? What are you doing over there?
Well, if this is the only way that anyone has seen any guards come in, then that must mean that this is an immediate access point to the outside world.
the human man who's in the stockades, he's so skinny that you can see his, rib cage, and he's watching you like kind of like paw at the place that you came in, and he's just like.
the man who's tied up in the stockades.
To our right.
To our right. I give him a sip of water and a bite of food. Not, in any way a full amount, just a sip of water, a little bit, and a
Wait,
little bite of food from my
Does
ration.
that person look like he's completely dying and suffering, and there's no cure, or he's just like in
Beaten.
poor shape?
He's like basically he looks like he's been tortured for days, and that he's not.
But he's not guaranteed to be dead.
No, not by any means guaranteed to be dead.
Okay, so he's just
So
After I give him a sip of the water, a bite of the food, I ask him, "What is your name? Why are you here?"
he says, My name is Sisingwa, and why am I here?
Why are you in these stockades?
Oh, well, I got caught stealing.
from who?
From who and what did you take?
I tried stealing some wine from the guys in the skulking 70.
So there seems to be a communal punishment area.
Are these did the skulking 70 punish you? Did the guards punish you?
Scotchin, he carved out my chest with a knife and hung me here to die. They won't let me leave.
Eastburn continues questioning Old Man Vood.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Couple more questions. How will I know your friends when I find them in the sewers?
He says, I had two friends. They were trying to get in to a gang. I knew them from the surface, back on Kier. I was so elated when I saw them arrive, despite the fact that my friends had just been captured. It had been so long since I had seen someone I knew from my homeworld. They wanted to join a gang, and they tried to join the Half-Deads. Bark Frankenson, the leader of the Half-Deads, he sent them on a mission to try to find the secret passageway to the gods' chambers. These two men, one was a human, the other a half-elf. If you find them, tell them to come back. Lead them back. My guess is they're stuck in the sewers, lost somewhere, if they're not dead.
All right. And last question. They said that we're going to stay in here till our souls are ready to be harvested. What's harvesting it, and when are we ready?
We don't know the selection process, but we know that the mind flayers keep us here as a sort of sick experiment, and that when they want, they choose one of us based on our souls. We're taken away by the gods, and I'm guessing they eat our souls.
All right, thank you for the information. I hope to come back with good news on your friends.
If you bring my friends back, or news of them, they should have on them a pen that I gave them as a token of friendship, a tiny fountain pen. And if you find this or bring them back alive, I will tell you the secrets that I know. Though, as you know, if I could have found a way out, I would have done it a long